Hi, ladies. I've missed you so much. I'm so sorry that it's been so long since I've done an update, a video. Let me start off by saying there's no more baby in the belly. She's actually currently sleeping in her mama room. So, that is why I took the opportunity to go ahead and make this video. I tried to make it like an hour or so ago and she was fussy, so I actually had her here on the little bouncer and she was not having it. So I had to put her in the Moby and she fell fast asleep, then woke up to feed, and so I just put her down. So I decided to go ahead and do this video. So sorry if the lighting is off. We are in her nursery, and it's I think like two something, close to 3. So I don't know, the light, it's kind of gloomy today, so the lighting's kind of going in and out. Anywho, I just wanted to share my labor and delivery story with you ladies, since you have been following my journey, which I so appreciate. Steven and I both, he's actually the one that told me that I needed to get back into filming my videos. So here I am. So last you guys saw me, I was packing my hospital bag, and I showed you guys the video of what I had in my hospital bag and what Elaina had in her diaper / hospital bag. I believe I was 37 weeks, 38 weeks, something along those lines. So my inclination for some reason was that I was going to have Elaina April 10th, 2014. I don't know why her due date wasn't until the 15th, but I just had this gut feeling that she was going to come on April 10th. Well, needless to say, Elaina, April 10th came and went, and there was no baby, and I was starting to get a little frustrated, as most women do. At that point, I tried everything. I tried walking, I tried bouncing on the birthing ball, I tried eating pineapple and spicy foods, and none of it was working. I had them strip my membranes. Actually, she stripped them without me really consenting, but I didn't mind. I lost my mucus plug twice, and still no baby. And so I was feeling a little discouraged, and I decided that I would just enjoy these last moments of her in my belly and embrace it. And so that's what I did. I allowed myself to just breathe and relax and let her come when she was going to come. And so it was April 15th, the day of my due date. And I decided to get ready. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just hop in the shower and get nice and dressed and do my makeup and do my hair, to make myself just, feel even better. And so that's what I did. I woke up that morning and I hadn't shaved my legs, TMI, because I was waiting until, because I just assumed that I would labor at home, and so I wouldn't rush myself to the hospital. I would just take my time at home and shave and do all that good stuff before I went to the hospital. And so that morning I just decided, you know what, I'm going to shave my legs and, other things. Anyways, and so I got dressed and did my makeup and hair and all that good stuff. And so every year my mother-in-law, she buys all the components to make the Easter baskets, and then I assemble them and make them all pretty and put them together. And so seeing as Easter was 5 days away, I decided to go ahead and do that to sort of distract myself. And so I went downstairs and I sat on the floor, crisscross applesauce, like I am now. And I leaned over to grab something, not very far, and I felt a little gush. And it wasn't a whole lot. There wasn't anything on the floor or anything like that. And so I decided to go to the restroom. My mother-in-law had informed me that if it's something I can't control, if I go to the restroom and it just keeps coming out, even if it's not a whole lot, but I can't control it, then that's probably my water breaking or having been broken. And so I peed, but I was able to control it and nothing else came of it. So I decided it must have just been discharge or something. You know, when you get pregnant, it's not pretty. People don't tell you that, but pregnancy is not a pretty thing. There are a lot of gross things that happen that people don't tell you about. So anyways, I went back to making the Easter baskets. Shortly after, my mother-in-law came to visit after work. She knew that I might be a little discouraged, seeing as it was my due date and there were no signs of the baby coming. So she came over and she had yet to see the nursery. So we walked upstairs and I was showing her the nursery. And as I stood here, I felt another little gush. And so I told her, because most of you guys know she's a nurse, I told her what had happened earlier. And I told her that I just felt it that a few minutes, I'm drawing a blank. I'm not even pregnant anymore. Well, anyways, that I had just felt it. And so she told me to go to the restroom and just check. And same thing, nothing that I wasn't able to control. And so we went to the mall. She was really determined to buy Elaina her first Easter dress, though I didn't think Elaina would be here by Easter the way things were going. Oh, by the way, I had gone to the doctor. I had been 80% effaced and 2 centimeters dilated for about a week or two. So just to throw that in there. So we walked the mall, and everything was fine. I mean, I had been having contractions for a few weeks, pretty strong ones, but nothing that I could track that would send me to the doctors. I didn't want to be the girl who got sent home because nothing was really happening. So, I was having contractions, but you know, again, nothing too serious. So anyway, Steven picked me up from the mall, and as I got in the car, I felt another little gush. Again, I didn't think anything of it because nothing had been happening up to that point. And so, on that side of town, there is a shaved ice place. And this place is as good as it's gonna get, without having to actually go to Hawaii and get shaved ice. It's amazing. So anyways, I was craving that. Since we were on that side of town, I asked Steven if we could stop by. And so, as I got out of the car, I just got out and I stood at the door. And I had 2 streams, one on each leg going down. It wasn't a gush. It was just as if I had peed myself. And I just immediately started laughing. I thought it was pretty funny. But I still didn't know if that was my water breaking or if I had just peed. So, Steven's like, I think you need to call mom because it's like on the floor, babe. And I was like, fine, I'll call her. You go get my shaved ice. And he kind of laughed. He's like, you still want shaved ice? Of course, because if this is the real deal, I'm not going to be able to eat for a while. So, I called my mother-in-law and she told me to go ahead and go to the doctor. I was still reluctant because I wasn't for sure and I didn't want to get sent home and them tell me that I had just peed myself. But regardless, I went to the hospital. All our bags had been packed already, so we were good to go. I went. They were so packed in triage that they had to have me sit in the lobby because there was just no room back there. So I waited in the lobby for a room to be available, and once it was, I was supposed to walk back there. The nurse came to get me, but the whole while I was waiting, I felt like I was wetting that seat, like I was gushing, and I was so embarrassed. I told Steven, this is so embarrassing if I get up right now and I squirt water in this lobby and there's tons of people here. And he's like, honey, you're pregnant. I'm sure they'll understand that. I mean, I'm sure you guys can agree that would be embarrassing, regardless if you're pregnant or not. That's just embarrassing. So the nurse comes out and calls my name, and I, have her come over, and she's looking at me like, what is going on? So I told her, I think I may have leaked on this chair, and so I just want to let you know. I don't think you guys want to have somebody sitting on this after I've leaked on it. And so she laughed, and I got up very carefully, and I looked back, and there was nothing there. So we were good to go. So we walked to the back, and as I'm walking to the room, I have more liquid just squirt out of me. And at that point, I kind of knew that it was my water. Oh, sorry, my legs. It was my water that had broken. And so, surely enough, they had me put on the gown, and they took the little paper that they stick in you to test to see if it's amniotic fluid or not. And sure enough, she stuck it in and she said, "You're ruptured." And so that was the beginning of it all. So that is what I'm going to share right now. I'm going to make a part 2 following this, so that this video isn't ridiculously seriously right now, ridiculously long. So I'll share part 2 on the next video. I'll see you there.